the 90s, Playmates Toys made the deepest line of Star Trek action figures in history. My name's Keith, and I'm a collector working towards owning all 284. I've been a Trek fan for almost 35 years, and most people are sick of me talking about it. But somehow I've convinced my old friend Mike to review them with me on Look at My Star Trek Toys! What?
Oh.
We got the whoosh, but no ship, but that's okay. Welcome back to Look at My Star Trek Toys. How's it going over there, Mike?
It's going all right, man. I'm watching that intro, and I'm realizing, like, the presidency has aged us, but...
It has.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel fine about our current one. But yes, lots of things have aged us, Mike.
We're slowly becoming the same person. Look at us.
I mean, you know, they say that happens in marriages and perhaps in podcast marriages as well. Today, we are going to be talking about new, exciting custom figures based on the Playmates scale models and maybe even a ship or two. But today's theme, and I asked for it, I put it out in the internet, and the internet brought it to me. I asked for Romulans because we had... When I asked for it, which was like a month ago, we had just finished season 1 of Strange New Worlds. You can watch us review it on Strange New Show. Check out our other shows. But we'd met the Romulans for the first time, and I was like, I want to see your Romulan custom figures. And don't worry, they came into my inbox, which you can send your figures to Look at My Star Trek Toys at gmail.com. I want everything. I get a lot of questions, right? Do you want custom figures from lines that aren't Playmates? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anything Star Trek and anything custom. It can be a ship. It can be a figure. It can be a diorama or a model. It can be a costume.
Keith,
whatever you got.
The most sought after custom of them all. You know, one of our highest viewed videos is a custom Enterprise meets Millennium Falcon.
Yes,
you know,
that's right.
That crossover really inspired folks. I have one. I'm on the lookout for it. I haven't said it on this show yet. I am looking for the custom crossover Kai Chewbacca.
Kai Chewbacca. Yes.
Kai Chewbacca. Everybody knows when they did that crossover episode where Chewie...
When a Kai really loves a Chewie.
A Chewie. And you hear, you know, don't come a-rockin' if behind the doors you hear a grrrr.
If they love each other very, very much.
Yeah, you too can become Kai Chewbacca. So if anybody's out there has one or is interested in making one, let us know. I'll send you my address.
100%. You know, and here's a thought that I had. Mm-hmm. Because I said, like, we want all things custom in Star Trek. I haven't talked to Mike about this, but I think maybe... it might be a fun episode or two to do people's costumes.
Cosplay.
Are you going to, like, your cosplay costumes might be fun to do an episode
I know,
on.
Dear friend of the channel, Joshua Cronin, has done some cosplay. So
Has done some fantastic
so
cosplay.
It'd be cool.
Yeah,
great idea.
So do you want to send your cosplay costumes? Do you wear it to a convention or on a cruise or just at home? If you want us to talk about it here on the internet, you can send it to lookatmystartrektoys at gmail.com. If you don't want us to, don't send it.
Yeah, definitely family-friendly photos.
Well, the ones we can talk about, you can send whatever you want.
Keith? Keith?
I'm going to regret that so much.
I get a text that says, take that out. Guess what? Not doing it. It's in.
No, that lives. That lives. All right.
Just CC me. All right.
You can check the email too sometimes. All right. Let us. All right.
What are we doing, Keith?
We're talking about Romulans. And so we are going to start with a whole bunch of great Romulan fun stuff from our friend Matt Rudawsky, who this kind of started my whole idea to do Romulans because he sent some really cool stuff, starting with Major Recall, which is a figure. Now, you saw on Deep Space Nine, we made Kira a Cardassian. Mm-hmm. And part of a ploy was to convince her that she was this, to get her to, for a bunch of Obsidian Order fun. But there's a great episode of Next Generation where Troy wakes up shockingly as a Romulan.
Interesting.
And they have to figure out. There's a whole bunch of shenanigans going on with the Tal Shiar, and she has to pretend to be part of the Romulans, not knowing a heck of a lot. Has a great confrontation back with Picard and such. And so this is a figure that I wish Playmates had made, but don't worry, Matt took care of it and created this terrific custom figure of Major Rakal, which I think looks great. And commemorating a really fun episode. And, a little bit, Playmates and the toy world has always been a little bit unfair about this. The male characters get a lot more figures than the female characters. And so we got Picard and Data as Romulans, but we never got Troy as a Romulan. And I feel like that's a missing link in the line. And here it is. I think it looks great. And you can see that's the Troy. I think they used the Troy Series 1 figure for the head there based on the makeup, but maybe not. And then so there's Troy meeting Major Rakal. Fun episode. I think I should go back and watch that one again. And we can see our, of course, Romulan, couch cushion uniforms. So there is the figure there. I think it looks great, Mike.
I agree. Screen accurate, looking good. Couch cushion, squared off shoulders, check. Double, great detail on the double kind of, what would you call that? Sash?
Sashy
on
dealy.
The right side, yeah. Really cool.
Yeah, I think it's very, very well done. Yeah, the Romulans, they just stole the couch material to make their uniforms, but they forgot to take the cushion out of the fabric.
They love a bang. Man, they really love a bang.
Bangs are very big on the Romulans. So anyway, really fantastic figure from Matt there. And coming up next, we have another fantastic Romulan custom figure. Mike, wow. You know who this is. Tell me what this is.
That's the dude who had a tete-a-tete with Kirk, and he's like, let's not have war anymore. But then he's like, I gotta do it. So he goes forward in the line, and they blow his ass up.
Yeah, that's exactly right, which kind of got replayed on Strange New World.
That face must be from something other figure, right? Because that likeness is incredible.
That is Mark Leonard. I mentioned it to you before, but do you remember who the actor who played the Romulan commander also played on Star Trek?
Somebody's dad, right?
Uh-huh.
Spock's dad?
Spock's dad!
Ooh.
Oh, guys, he's growing up. He's learning.
Little baby bird taking wing.
Little baby bird ready to leave the nest. His head is full of Star Trek nonsense.
It is true.
Just like we were hoping.
When I find it weird is when I go to when we're upstate or we're anywhere and there's a thrift shop, I walk in and instead of looking at all the cool stuff, I start looking for the Trek stuff.
Absolutely. And then you send me pictures
and I'm
like,
Keith's like, I got it. I already got it.
But I'm like,
look for red data.
Look for red data. Look for red data. Always. Anyway, so what's particularly impressive about this figure is that we don't really have a figure similar to that with the gloves and the sash and the sort of kilt.
But his
that
face,
all had to be built.
Is his face sculpted?
Yes. Well, his face is sculpted because I don't think I built it into a slide, but if you go into that folder,
oh boy,
there should be an image there, the Romulan commander and Sarek, which I should have put into a slide, but I didn't. Maybe you can overlay it. It's in that folder. You can see the figure that they used, which was Sarek, not as seen on the original series, but as seen from the Next Generation, because it was a character that Mark Leonard played on the original series and Next Generation, as well as some of the movies. But they did make a figure of him as he appeared in Next Gen with his robes, which is another one that's really good for all the custom figures.
Oh, this is a great photo, Keith.
Yeah, pull it in.
Well, it's a different format because you didn't. I got to resave it.
Hold on. Oh, all right. So, yeah, this stupid iPhone HEIC format is difficult for us PC people. There it is. There it is. Yeah. So that's the original figure. and that is what he used. So obviously had to redo the paint, the hair, which is actually incredibly realistic with how they would do black hair like that.
Cool.
So it's a really great, it's an excellent figure. It really is. And then I think we got a spin around.
We do have a spinny. I have to see if I can.
The Romulan commander. There he is.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, when you send your figures, if you want to do a spin around, just get yourself a turntable and send it our way. We can put it in there.
Single-handedly keeping the Japanese spinny plastic thing market in play.
I know. They got the K&M bump that nobody else did. It's the spins. But really, great figure from a great episode. That's one I wish the Playmates had made, because that's such an iconic episode of original series. This definitely deserved a figure. So next up, this is really fun. We've got a couple of ships, and we're gonna learn a little bit about Romulan history through some of Matt's ships.
Cool.
So first up is the Romulan Bird of Prey. Now this is an Eagle Moss ship, so the ship is not custom. However, Matt added decals to it.
Oh,
so
cool.
So this decal he did in Illustrator and printed it on decal paper. And so this was the Romulan the Romulan ship from the Enterprise incident on the Enterprise era Bird of Prey, like Star Trek Enterprise Bird of Prey. And John Eves, who did the design for it, originally had a bird graphic on the bottom of the vessel. So I don't believe we actually even saw it on the episode. So this is a custom based on a spec image grafted onto the Eagle Moss production, which is really cool. So also just like pretty good Illustrator work.
Yeah, not bad.
To get that scaled exactly right and then printed on decal paper to add that graphic onto it, which we saw in the original series. It does have, the original series one does have that painted Bird of Prey onto the ship itself, because Romulans were all about branding. They want to look good.
Makes sense.
So you want to tattoo that ship. So I think it is incredibly creative. I love the design of that ship. It's like sort of an updated version of the original series, and we saw on Strange New Worlds they did like an updated version of that. Very cool looking, very scary looking ship. Although not a giant ship, we have some of those larger ones out there. Really, really cool. So our next ship that we're going to talk about, a little piece of Star Trek lore that I think happened as a result of behind the scenes Star Trek lore and production, and that is the Klingon D7 battle cruiser, which we will see next, which is the iconic Klingon ship we've seen in the original series and the movies, and it's such a great design. This ship existed on multiple series and sort of throughout hundreds of years. They kept using the ship because it looks freaking awesome.
Very cool.
But Mike, your question is obvious. That's a Klingon ship. Why is this on a Romulan episode?
Yeah, right.
Right? It's crazy. Well, as it turns out, in canon, possibly because they didn't have time to build another ship, the Romulans also used the Klingon D7 ship sometimes. So
good design. Good design's a good design.
It's a great design, and so it's a little odd in canon because the Klingons and the Romulans don't always get along. And why would they be? Why would you give the Russians the F-16s? I don't know, but they did, and but the Romulans, being branding experts, almost like Cassidy Yates, they got to throw their stank on it.
Yeah.
And and put their bird on it, and which Matt did here, finishing out the Eagle Moss figure with some more of the custom decals, which are really cool and definitely mean this is a Romulan. This is a Romulan one, not a Klingon one. So really cool, really fun, creative. I love it. Really cool stuff. So and I think one of the the Romulans and Klingons got some of the best ship designs out there. It's just really, really cool and scary looking. So now, you know what you need if you're going to do a bunch of Romulan stuff?
Romulans?
You need Romulans. And sometimes, you know, do you in television work, we have the lead actors, right? But are you drinking a Coors Light?
It's a LaCroix.
Okay, I was like, Mike, buddy, how's your day going?
It's Saturday, baby.
In a day drink doing Star Trek toys.
K&M Saturday.
There it is.
It all went downhill after Mike became an alcoholic on air.
On air, yeah, it was amazing. So, so you need some extras. You got to fill it out. And so JD sent us some of these. You just need some Romulans kicking around, and so these are some very basic head swaps. Swapping out. So that is a Picard head and a Data head, repainted. It looks like, and thrown into the Romulan basic body. I think he might have repainted the couch.
Yeah,
on the one with Data head, and so this way you can fill out your arsenal of Romulans. So, you know, not all customs have to be about a super specific, you know, character that you're filling in. Sometimes you need to have the Borgatorium.
Yeah.
Which is why, you know, I have a box of like 50 or 60 different random Borgs, which are really good to have if you're going to set up a whole big battle sequence. And you can do that with your Romulans.
It's like Legos. You can build your ships till Kingdom Come, but if you don't have some just like rando Lego guys hanging around to like throw into the ships, the scene's not complete.
Yeah. All right. So last up, we have another great custom from JD, and that is Senator Pardek from the reunification part 1 and 2 on the Next Generation. Mike, do you know why that episode is also important?
You know, Keith, you know,
two-parters?
I downright don't know why.
Because that is when Spock appears on Star Trek The Next Generation. Super, super cool. And we have to go undercover on Romulus. And so we have Picard and Data here in their regular figures, but they come across Senator Pardek, which JD made a custom figure of. And I really just wanted to isolate. I know that it's not a super high resolution picture, but isolate the facial sculpt work that JD did there, because it looks
really cool.
So much like the actor playing Pardek. I thought that was really fantastic.
Really good. Really cool.
Facial sculpt. I marveled at that, because I don't even know what figure that was originally based on, but really nailed the facial sculpt on that. So really giant hands off to JD, because for some reason these Romulan figures had giant hands. So go back one, look at the scale.
Oh yeah,
and that's from the original figure. Giant hands, like Worf hands.
That's crazy how big they are.
Yeah, right.
That's a really cool sculpt, JD. Well done.
Really, really good sculpt. And I think you also did a repaint on the other two figures. I have to go back on my shelf because I don't remember them having two-tone colors. Those were pretty basic, pretty cheap figures Playmates put out to commemorate Unification Part 1 and 2. So folks, if you have new figures, if you send enough more Romulan figures, we'll do a Romulan Part 2. If you send enough of any flavor, we'll do an episode on it. Could be really fun. Also, as we determined on the show today, send us your cosplay pictures. I'd love to do a whole episode on Star Trek cosplay.
I suspect that will be a popular one, Keith.
I hope so. I think that, there's a lot of really cool stuff out there, and be really fun to talk about, because we're expanding our world on Star Trek toys. Is cosplay a toy? You're damn right it is on our show, because we get to determine. It's an art
form, Keith, and that's what this channel's about.
That's true. Yeah. Artists. Yeah, that's us. Yeah.
Arts.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you back here next week with another episode of Look at My Star Trek Toys. If you would like to join our Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/KNM and join the incredible Brian Kimball, Beersack, Casey Clark, Jason Moe, Joshua Cronin, Andrew Hayes, Jorge Navoa, and the mysterious Worf's Big Old Boot Shifts, Charles Babbage, Richard Coleman, Harry Pothead, CRM Productions, Nikolai Ivanovich Lobacheski, Delusions at Noon, Steve Brown, YouTube viewer. And if you want to send us stuff in the mail, you get this a special category just for you. We'd like to thank JD Makes, Colin Dagan, Chris Mitchell at CRM, Pat, and Joshua Cronin. Get all sorts of fun nonsense up there. Patreon.com/KNM. We'll see you back here next week. Check out our other shows. Till then, this has been Look at My Star Trek Toys. Whoosh!